And congratulations on a very cool song. Just show of hands, who just saw F1 for the first time? Okay, so wow, great.
Wow. Cool. I like that.
Nice way to see it.
Yeah.
I would imagine, Ed, that when it becomes known to you that they want you to do a song for this movie, and also that it's Jerry Bruckheimer who was kind of responsible for some of the movies with the big soundtracks, Beverly Hills Cop, Flashdance, Top Gun, Con Air. I mean, over and over again. It probably was an easy yes.
No, not necessarily. I feel like movie soundtracks every single year there's something that I would get asked for. I'm sure Blake is the same that you get asked for. It's all about the song for a movie. I want to do something that I haven't done before. It doesn't seem like so. When Jerry first approached me, I thought he was going to ask for a romantic song in one of the last scenes, but he was like, "You choose," and he played me the entire movie, and we watched the end credits where June Buggy's going, you guys just watched it, and I was like, that. And he was very supportive of what we wanted to do. But yeah, I wanted to, if I was going to do something for a movie soundtrack, I didn't want it to be something that I'd already done. I wanted to feel like it was different and new and fresh and exciting.
I love that. Blake, for anyone in this room who's not familiar with Blake, I mean, this guy's responsible for songs like 360 by Charlie XCX, Unholy by Sam Smith and Ken Pinterest, like so many, and a lot of songs with Ed. I mean, you guys did more than a half dozen songs for the most recent record.
Yeah, I mean, those are the songs that have seen the light of day. I've probably made like 200 songs of this Blake over the last like 4 years.
Yeah. So Blake, when you think back to working on this track, Drive, did it feel like a separate endeavor from what you guys were doing with the Plague record, or did it feel like a piece with what you were doing?
Completely separate, and that was the magic of it. I went to see a screening at Jerry's office, and I remember feeling the adrenaline that you feel when you watch this movie, when you guys all just felt it. It's like, you feel like you're part of it. You really feel, it just makes you feel, I don't know, like you're in the cars. And they did such an incredible job capturing that. And when they asked us to do the song, I was so honored because it was so separate than what Ed and I had been doing for the album in a way that's really refreshing. I think when you make music for an album and an artist like Ed, there's all these kind of preconceived notions, like what you can do and what you can't do. And what people don't realize about Ed is that he's kind of always been the guy that has been like, wait, he can do that. Like, he comes out with the A-Team, and everyone's like, okay, this is like one of the greatest singer-songwriters to come of our time. And then he sings, "You Need Me, I Don't Need You," and he's rapping. And you're like, wait, this guy can rap. And I remember when, I don't think anyone really knew that Ed has this gear to him of being able to sing like this and be able to rock. And I remember when we played the initial demo for Dave Grohl, he was like, he said something like, when's Ed gonna sing it? We're like, no, that's Ed. He's like, oh my God, I didn't know that he could rock like that. I didn't know, like, you don't know that he has it in him. And it was such a cool little side quest that, number one, gave us kind of a break from the pressure of making an album and a break of the pressure of like what it's going to be and what the next move is, and kind of just make music just for the pure fun of it.
I love it. So, and how did you guys carve out time? Was it like, okay, we've just spent the last 4 days working on the proper album, now let's take an afternoon, or was it just when it struck you?
No, I mean, we've been in the studio 3 days. We create constantly. I think it's kind of similar to how screenwriting would be, I assume, is if you're not doing it, it doesn't get done. If you're not actually sitting down and typing and finishing a scene and then going back in it and doing all of that. So we're always making music, and I think we were working on Play. I'd gone in the studio with Blake, with John Mayer, to do a guitar solo on a song that we'd done. And I think, we'd just seen the screener, and we said to John, like, do you want to try doing a riff and see where we get to? And he was playing that riff. I was sort of freestyling melodies on that. We kind of got a very, very, very rough initial foundation of the song. I took the song away, I watched the movie again, made lots of notes, and me and Blake got on FaceTime because I wasn't doing it in the States, and we sort of edited the song down and we sent off and we got notes, and it was a longer process than we would usually do for a song, but because it was so specific to the script and the story, it felt like it needed to be like proper,
Blake, did you guys have a deadline that was tight? Did you feel like it was like a fast process, or was it more leisurely?
No, it happened pretty quick, and also, we had that original melody sketch, and then I remember when I think we kind of played a rough idea, and they were like, oh, you guys are on a really good track, and I scheduled a day to do the lyrics with Ed, and he was in the UK, I was in LA, and it was like X whatever amount of hours ahead, and we were like, okay, let's do it at 9 a.m., and I woke up at 9, and I called him, and he was like, I did it in the car. And I was like, oh, okay. And
I did it on the way to a bachelor party.
Yeah.
I was sat with my best mate in a car on the way to. You guys don't know what Butlins is, but Butlins is. I don't want to describe Butlins. Someone's laughing, they know what Butlins is, but Butlins ain't somewhere where you're going to be writing a song that's an olive mood. I remember just being in a car with my mate Nick, and I was playing the sort of rambling demo. Wrote the lyrics down, but Blake's been polite. We did actually get on the phone, and there was a lot of notes that it wasn't like perfect.
No, we did some crafting, but also just imagine Ed in the car with his friend and me on FaceTime, and he's going full flying through the city, full Ed Sheeran. And I was on the phone whoa, oh, sick.
Well, the reason I love the song so much is that, for me, the verses, which are kind of more minor key, have this kind of Lenny Kravitz vibe. I don't know if that's what you're going for.
No, legitimately, so it was a mix between Lenny Kravitz and Led Zeppelin. That was a kind of reference.
And then you have this explosive major chord in the chorus, where it's just such a thrill. I don't know where Hallelujah comes from as a shout out, but.
Well, it was mostly when we write songs, the first initial thing, it was literally just and the chorus just so we just left it in because it just sounded good, yeah. It was, but mostly when you're doing songs, the first initial sketch is kind of gibberish, and then you sort of add phonetically. You will fit words in the phonetics. So if you're going instantly it sounds like flying through the city. The first line and you go, okay, flying through the city and blah blah blah. But yeah, Hallelujah was just gibberish.
Wow.